All right, Matt. So, how did you get interested in barbecue? What began your fascination in
Yeah, I
barbecue?
was I was ready for that. So me and my wife moved into an apartment. When actually, I lived in an apartment, and then she moved in with me after we met. And I told her, I was like, I used to see people out barbecuing out on the sidewalk. I'm like, I don't want to be cooking hot dogs and hamburgers in front of a bunch of people, but when I get my own house, I'm going to cook out every day. So when I bought my house, which I'm at now, almost 9 years later, I bought this old charbroil grill and not even a Weber, just some basic charcoal stuff. And I fell in love with it, and then started moving up to actually got a kettle, and I would cook ribs on the kettle instead of using the ring of fire, which would let you sleep. I would get up every 45 minutes and just add more coals to it. When I first started cooking, I thought it was good to keep the damper closed to get more smoke. I mean, it's just, I failed so many times with barbecue. I mean, it's not even funny. A lot of dead animals that just didn't get the proper burial they needed because I had just destroyed it as a cook. But it just progressively, I met somebody I worked with named Ren Awa. He's Sublime Smoke, and I found out he loved barbecue like I did, and I kept pestering him. I was like, dude, we need to do the Jubilee, and he finally caved in. Or actually, we missed the Jubilee, we did Hampton Coliseum, and we ended up getting a call 10th place in brisket. And that was history right there. Once you get your name called,
You're addicted when you hit one.
Yeah, we're addicted. So we cooked on our first comp. We cooked on a 18-inch WSM and a drum smoker. And I'm actually thinking of going back to drum smokers, thinking of cooking chicken and ribs on the Jambo, and then my big meats on the drums or on WSMs, something like that. But yeah, and then I was competing with him for a while, and then I met Michael Heckman from 412Q. We were actually competing against each other right next, and he was competing by himself, and I ended up helping him more than I was helping my own team, and we kind of just bonded immediately. It was just like a instant connection. So we've been cooking ever since. We cooked probably, we're going on our 10 competitions now where we cook together. We've been through a lot of good times, a lot of bad times. We're just, our next competition, Sam's, you're judging. So I'm just doing everything I can as a teammate for him, because he's the head pitmaster, I cook with him. And I'm doing everything I can as a teammate to help win this thing. It's not just a head cook, everybody's got to play their part. So I take classes. I took Prime Barbecue's class, one of the best classes I ever took. It was like $249, and probably worth like $600.
Wow.
Knowledge, yeah. I learned so much. I learned how to cook burn-ins finally, and it's just a foolproof method with some of his stuff. His pulled chicken. If I ever wanted to do pulled chicken underneath my chicken thighs, I know how to do that now. How would you feel like that as a judge if you got nice bed of pulled chicken underneath your chicken thighs? Have you ever had that before?
I have not come across it since I've been judging, and I want to say the last time I heard it, I want to say, was it at Chesapeake or Lenexa, where they said they didn't want us doing that anymore, using the meat as a heat sink anymore.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I want to say it was a Lenexa or Chesapeake, one of those two at the Cooks meeting.
Okay.
But they was talking about they didn't. I have to double check. I'm gonna double check, but I think they're talking about a lot of guys would use them, put a lot of pulled chicken or pork something in the bottom of the box to keep it hot.
Yeah, it keeps it hot, exactly. Yeah, so.
And so
Like I said, I learned a lot from his class. So if anybody's looking for a really good class, probably the best 2 classes I take. The most expensive one, of course, was Michael Fay from Corpus. Now $600 something. But I mean, it's a 2-day class, and you learn everything.
And if I understand correctly, his class is actually hands-on.
Yeah. The only downside was in his class we had it at Gallivanti's meat. So there was a lot of dead animals and flies and stuff like that. So when we were trimming the meat, I was waiting for the flies to pick the ribs up and just carry them away. So I wasn't really hungry for the food after we cooked it, but I learned the basics. So if you're watching this, Michael Fay, yeah, flies are nasty. But great class. And then, like I said, Christopher's class is freaking awesome. Like I said, I don't think he's going to keep his class for $249 much longer. And I'm buff. He's not paying me to say this or anything, But we live in the Hampton Roads area, so it's only like a 2.5-hour drive. It's not a bad drive. Good class. A lot of nice to go down to the country, get out of the city, But yeah, that's basically it. Right now I'm cooking with 412Q, Mike Heckman, head pit master. We're taking this month off to kind of relax. And, basically, I don't think we have any money. I think that's the beating around the bush, but we just kind of regrouping.
Yeah.
Getting ready for Sam. Sam's is a big comp. We really want to win.
Yeah,
we're getting the top 6 at least. And we want to go to South Carolina for regionals, and then
hoping to Bentonville. Yeah.
Have you been accepted for Bentonville yet?
I haven't applied.
What are you waiting on?
I haven't applied. I just applied for Richmond, and that's because one year I applied for Richmond. They said I was accepted, and when I got there, they said they didn't need me. So I'm like, oh.
Ouch. Wow.
So
yeah, that's one of the things with judging. I've judged one time, and it was definitely an interesting experience. I judged in Woodstock, Virginia, and unfortunately, I did not get any good barbecue. I was really disappointed. I had some really bad barbecue, but Dan from Three Eyes says that cooks are the worst judges because we score the lowest. I can kind of see where he's coming from, and I gave out quite a few comment cards, but the lowest score I gave, I think, was a 6 the whole time, and that was only one time on chicken, and I literally took every stomach muscle not to spit it out. I mean, it tasted like rotten chicken, and I still gave him a 6. So, I mean, I guess you call me the table of angels or something like that, or one of the angels, because I seen other people shaking their heads and doing this, and I know you're not supposed to make any head movements, facial expressions.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's too strongly enforced sometimes when you get a rotten piece of chicken. Yeah, it's competitions. Barbecue's great. Scott Cobb actually is
Slick's Barbecue.
He's actually the main reason I got into it. I totally forgot. I asked another guy I worked with, if I could. This was before. I'm kind of going back in time. I'm kind of going back and forth, but I met Slicks before I got with Ren and Sublime Smoke. I asked if I could just come watch, and they let me come watch them at the Chesapeake Jubilee. That's why I mentioned the Jubilee. And after I come and watch them compete, they got first place in brisket. They cleaned up. They almost won the thing. I was really hooked then. I bought me some East Coast Smoking Wood, and then I went to Central Meats, bought me a pork butt. Ever since then, I've cooked pretty much every weekend for the last 2.5 years, 3 years.
And like
Slick's Barbecue, Scott Cobb, he's the main reason I'm into competition barbecue. He's like, I would say 50 to 75% of the reason. So I don't know if I should thank Scott or if I should.
Well, I guess we should ask your wife.
Oh, we know what she'll say. But, yeah, she's been awesome too. You know, you gotta have a special wife to deal with competition.
Oh yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
a lot of unnecessary money spent on rubs and grinds and then
Thank you, Joanne.
injections. I mean, it's so expensive. I mean, it's just like any other hobby though. If you're into cars or model airplanes or whatever, surfing, it's all money. You're all gonna buy the best wax or the best oil for your plane or whatever. It's just with barbecue. And that's another thing I learned from Chris. If you're gonna cook barbecue, you might as well buy the best meat. If you're gonna sit out here and sweat in 90-degree heat, why go to Walmart and buy frozen ribs or whatever when you could go to BJ's or Sam's and get some all-natural ribs, or go to a butcher and get some good chicken. Because if you're going to be out here cooking, you might as well give the best you can.
Yeah.
It might cost you an extra couple dollars, but you got to consider your time out here. Of course, I'm blessed to meet people like you and like Michael Heckman. He's been a blessing again. And Wolf's Revenge. Charles. Yeah, he's freaking awesome. Open book. I mean, you go in his trailer. It's like, here's my book. I'm just like, okay, this is awkward. But I look through it. I'm not a total shig ninja. I do have some shigging in me still. But, after you've taken so many classes, you kind of realize it's not really any use in chicken because everybody's pretty much doing the same thing. It's just how you cook the meat, basically.
And I noticed that on the last episode of Smoked, the two guys from Florida, Sweet Smoke Q and
I didn't see that. Yeah,
Hot Water Chula, and both of them was preparing their pork butts almost exactly alike. So they just go to show you that
did they butcher the butts, kind of dissect them? Yeah. There's a YouTube video, I don't know if you've seen it, with Jim Elsner. He actually, or Jeff, they pretty much dissect the butt, trim it all the way down, expose all the muscles.
I'm gonna look for that one.
There's a lot of ways to do pork. The last competition I did in Covington, Virginia, I watched the guy. He had a pig cooker. He had 2 butts and a double pack. He got a knife, cut it down the middle, threw them on the smoker, meat side down, no rub, no injection, no trim. 8-9 hours later, he shredded it, put some sort of homemade sauce on some lettuce, and got 3rd place. So I mean, it's crazy. That was in Covington. I mean, I watched it with my own eyes. So it's the competition barbecue is kind of like going to the casino a little bit, unless you're checkered flag 500 or
Pork Lips Now.
Yeah, Pork Lips Now.
Myron Mixon or Cool Smoke.
Yeah, they seem to. But again, going back to Pork Lips Now, I took his class. I can't believe he wins with the barbecue so straight down the middle. It's not like you take a bite, it just doesn't. You don't fall down like waving the church fan. You know what I'm saying? It's like you bite into it, you're like, okay, it's chicken. Okay, this is a rib. But so if that helps out anybody, it's not always about blowing the judges away. I guess it's like I said, in Covington, the judges, I think, were looking for more. And then when we were in West Virginia, we kind of went down the middle of the road and did really good, got 5th place. And then did the same thing the next weekend, got 14th. So it's just dropped like 30 points.
Wow.
So,
wow.
And then we thought we had a better cook. It's all good. It's just a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. Believe me, I know. Me and my wife had that discussion before I came down here. She's like, well, you're going to spend a lot of money on that barbecue stuff. I said, yeah. Hopefully it's a good return on investment.
Well, you're doing good. Kirby Q's got some good rubs. You still got your sampler special going this month, right?
Yeah. Just shipped out some orders this morning.
So I'll probably have to. You know, I've always supported you to stop by and get food and buy stuff from you. So, you know, that's how it is with barbecue family.
Yeah.
It's like when we were in West Virginia, Mark Gibbs, his wife, I don't know if you read the story, she sprained her ankle in the middle of the cook, and next thing you know, other cooks are coming over and they finish the cook for him. He finished 3rd place.
Wow. Yeah. And that's the good thing about the barbecue community, man. Even on the YouTube, cooking barbecue YouTube guys, man, it's a real good community of guys. Everybody's very supportive, very helpful, and it's just a great bunch of people to be around. So, and even though we all come from different various backgrounds, I've just been really impressed with the people that I've met in the barbecue circuit. Stuff,
yeah,
so.
I don't think I've ever came across any people that I thought was like, you know, oh my God, you know, this guy's the worst person I ever met in my life. You know, it's always been really cool, down to earth people. You know, just lots of moonshine. And you just gotta stay. You know, you gotta know. You know, luckily I learned, you know, alcohol, you stay away from that in competition. You know, you can have a beer or two maybe on Friday, but Saturday
it's all about the business.
Bars and
it's all about business.
Stuff like that. Yeah, too much money on the line.
Yeah, money, reputation.
Yeah, but a lot of good people. Jimmy from Smokeaholics.
Oh,
and,
Jimmy Richardson. Yep,
Teresa Bell, and her husband Larry.
I had a chance to meet, talk to her and her husband
the
Larry.
list goes on. I mean, so many. I mean, you could probably call one of the barbecue people and tell them you needed some money or something. You know? They'd probably send you some money. I mean, I might be overreaching a little bit, but I mean, that's how friendly they are. I mean, they probably wouldn't even ask any questions. They'd be like, how much money is it? It's really friendly people.
Yeah, again, a great community of people.
People ask me all the time, well, how the hell I got tied up in barbecue. And, you know, the people is half of it. And just loving the cooks, the other 50%. But, yeah, our fire is starting to die down a little bit here. I'm starting to see a little smoke roll out here, so I'm going to toss my logs around here for a minute.